So we're going to take a walk through the historic Governor's Mansion here in Cheyenne. Most of these guys here on the wall lived here at some point in time. Furniture is in this room is 1905. The desk, the sofa, a chair. This desk and bookcases, enormous. So this is the drawing room. Been restored to what it looked like in 1937. There's pictures on the wall of that fireplace. Oh, one right here on the piano. You can see some of it looks the same way it is now, except that center figurine is different from what's up there. There's another picture over there where there's a clock on the mantelpiece. This is the governor's den. Been put back to 1950s. And the governor at that time wanted it to reflect the western nature of Wyoming. Or I should say Wyoming. Cool stuff. So don't need to tell you what room this is. Obviously the kitchen, restored to its look in 1930s. These things above the doors, these transoms, I remember those in school. Or we'd go to Chicago on field trips, and some of the museums and stuff like that would have them above the doors. It's only an 8-burner stove. How cool. So this is the breakfast room. It's right off the kitchen. And a lot of vintage stuff in here. Made to be like the 1937 time period. So that means these eggs have been sitting here for quite a while. But we noticed a button on the floor down there. It possibly might have been used to call the servants in. You can step on it and ring a bell. This is the dining room. We have to go around the other way to see that. Cool. This is the dining room. I love this wallpaper. So those doors over there, that's the breakfast room that we were in. Again, it's been restored to 1937 era. There's a picture of yesteryear. How cool. If only this cake was real. Now we're down in the basement. This is called the architecture room, where they talk about the blueprints and approved in 1902. I guess the house was completed in 1905. some of the tools they used. Oh, yeah. This is a chair lift for one of the governor's wives. She had MS. So this took her from the first floor up to the second floor. Some of the changes that they've made. Restoration projects. There was a big one in 2000. So this was the staff apartment. The first occupants here were in 1939 was cook, Joanna is her name, and her husband. She was the staff kitchen cook, and he worked on the railroad. This must be like one of the first consoles. Look at that, radio, phonograph. Holy cow. Radiator heat in the ceiling. And they had their own little restroom here. Must have been her hair dryer there. Huh? Don't use the toilet, please. Welcome to the laundry room. So this thing, this iron right, I know it as a mangle. And the reason I know that is my mom had one. And that drum turns around, it's heated, and you would run your garments, your clothing, your sheets or whatever through it, and it would press them. Probably one of the biggest ironing boards I've seen. Maytag. And I'm wondering if that up in the corner where that fan is a laundry chute, you know, an ironing board. And this was used up to 1976, I guess. That's when the last governor's family lived here. And around the corner from the laundry room is what every governor's mansion should have, a fallout room with provisions. Yep. Because during the Cold War, the nuclear threat was very real. And especially here in Wyoming, there was a lot of military installations going on. There's missile bases. Matter of fact, Cheyenne has an Air Force base, but of noteworthiness, it's the only Air Force base that exists without a runway. And the reason for that is that it's primarily based on missile technology. Look at that, a Geiger counter sitting on the shelf. It's kind of dark here. I'm sorry if this doesn't come out too good. And Monopoly to pass the time. So yeah, they do have aircraft, but they use the municipal airport for their aircraft. Barrel of drinking water there. Matter of fact, they have a road called Missile Road, and they have missiles lined along it, sitting there. It's cool. So in 1955, the sun porch was built. It used to be all screened windows, since around 1959, 1960, the then governor decided to close it in with aluminum windows and some corrugate siding. It's all pretty cool. Can't get away from that yellow light, but Fred McMurray. Huh. You all remember Close Encounters, right? Teddy Roosevelt. He was here. Well, maybe not Teddy. FDR was here quite a bit. Matter of fact, that campground that we're staying at, he visited that quite a few times. After all, it was a working ranch. Yellowhammer. How'd you like to have a horse called Yellowhammer? So we'll go over here. Sorry about the fan noise, but I think that fan was from the 60s also. What a cool room though. So this is referred to as the fireplace bedroom, because there's a fireplace there. It's a guest room. That door there is restroom, and this door here is a room that connects to the screen porch, bedroom. Very nice. This is like, they call it the second master bedroom. You know, by the way, the tour of this mansion is free. If you're ever in Cheyenne and want something to do. So this is the state guest room. The state. Yeah. Anybody recognize any of this stuff? Lifebuoy? Don't use the toilet here either. So this is the historic governor's mansion from the outside. Quite a building. The brickwork is 3 layers thick. The walls are Even when you're walking around inside, the walls are like a foot thick on the inside. Nice grounds, flowers. There's a carriage house in the back here that's pretty impressive. So we had a good time here. Like I said, it's free. There's a donation box if you care to donate. And a lot of history. If history is your thing, there's a lot of Wyoming history in this building from all the governors that served in their governorship and lived in this house.